All right, we're live, it says. It says we're live. So being live, let's be alive. All right. Hey, welcome to my employee introduction video. So this is the Silver Pines office. This is the hub of Silver Pines. This is where it all comes together. And I wanted to take a minute and I wanted to congratulate you. I want to say good job on making it through the interviews. I know that it was fun meeting me. I know that maintenance was a killer experience, and I know that meeting corporate was definitely an interesting experience as well. So, again, thank you so much for taking the time to get to this place. We're really excited to have you, and we're really excited to show you how to do an amazing job here at Silver Pines. Because that's what anyone wants to be able to do when they do their job, is they want to do an amazing job so that when they go home, they don't have to think about it. They can just be at home feeling awesome that they did an awesome job. So I'm staying late tonight in order to provide this. So if you see like lights flashing over here and it gets your attention, just come back to me, okay? Just keep coming back to me. Here's what's going on, all right? So there are two desks in here, this desk and that desk there. These two desks represent kind of how the office comes together in terms of its functionality. This desk back here, this desk is where the hard crunching comes down, okay? I love that spot. That's where I got started. That's where I was able to sit down. That's where I was able to just get the work done. It's an amazing feeling. It really is awesome. I had to transition from this spot in order to take a little bit more responsibility and to be a little bit more accountable for some of the things that are going on. So hopefully, when the transition occurs from moving from this spot to this spot, that will be you. And because at some point I will leave this spot and someone will come to sit here. So that kind of is a kind of feeling, because that's how growth happens. Is we have to start on the basics. We come to understand the basics, and from there we're able to grow and take on more responsibility and do, honestly, very difficult tasks. And that's essentially what I need your help for. And that's what any generation of the Silver Pines office is going to need. It's going to need you to do your best. It's going to need you to get down to the basics first, understand the basics, so that when you take on more responsibility and you build from the basics, you come to understand what you can and can't do at Silver Pines really quick, and when you will and when you won't need management. Because a solid understanding of administration starts at understanding the basics. And if you really want to know what it comes down to, the basics is you got people coming in to rent, you got people leaving. That's really the groundwork. You'll have different systems in play in order to make sure that that's done smoothly, so that the people coming in is constant. It's a constant pull of people, right? They're pulled and they're attracted to a valuable commodity, which is Silver Pines. And then they leave on amicable, good terms. I don't know who wants to have, their property destroyed because they had a bad experience. And a lot of times you have tenants who trash a unit because they had a bad coming in. They weren't screened properly, they didn't apply correctly, and you just were trying to get someone in the door. That's not what you want, right? We don't want returns of broken product, because then we have to fix it and that costs a lot of money. So at the basics root level, a lot of what we have moving forward is we need help here in the office of the different kinds of listings, our marketing listings, making sure that our pictures are attractive, making sure that back it up a little bit, because I am doing this live. I don't have a script sitting here. I probably should have done that for your first introduction, but I guess because this is a little bit longer video and I don't mind doing that, let's really break it down, okay? Because that's what's going to be key here. So when we're sitting here, there's a couple things that happen at this desk that are crucial to the success of that desk. The first and foremost is the phone. Now, I have a phone here too, but there are two lines. Whoever can grab the phone, awesome. That's great. Sometimes one person's going to be more busy than the other. Sometimes, you're going to be in the middle of something. That happens, okay? If I'm helping a tenant and you're sitting right there, please answer the phone. If you're helping a tenant and I'm sitting right here, please, no, I'm going to answer the phone, okay? It's a group project to make sure that this phone gets picked up, that someone answers it. With that being said, what happens when I don't answer it? Well, there's line one, okay, and then both of them ring at the same time. And if no one answers it, it kicks over to line two. So we get a second chance to answer it. All right. Now, if nobody answers it, then it goes to voicemail. If it goes to voicemail, that's okay. That happens. That's why we have voicemail. We get voicemails at night, we get voicemails on off hours, and those voicemails have to be routinely cleaned out. Okay. And I can definitely show you a little bit more about how we process voicemails in the future. Okay, so now the second system. The second system is that door, all right? You can't stop people from coming through that door. I mean, granted, you can lock it, you can shut it, but there's a sign and you can educate people on what's going on to call this number or call maintenance. But our job is to invite people into that door, not letting them really come in. This is kind of our space, all right? We don't want them getting into our system. It does represent a security, situation where the only way out is through that window. Nobody wants to have that, okay? So when they come to that door, the key, okay, so this is the second part of the job, right? We cover the phone, now cover the door. When they come in here, the key is to get them to sit at the table or sit at the couch. If it's a showing, you stand up and there's some keys right back there. I'm not going to show you where they're at, but they're right back there. You pick up those keys and you go and show them the units. And I will show you how showing goes. It's awesome. It gets them in, and that's all that really matters when they're a well qualified lead. Okay, so that's the second thing, the door. The third system that we have, which is often called our property management solution, that property management solution has a name and we use it regularly. And with that said, it it needs to be accurate. And the way that we make sure that it's accurate is a couple different ways. One, we use it. And when I say we use it, there's a couple ways in which we use it. First, when we come back to the call, we come back to the office and the showing, okay? When we sit them down and they do an application, that application ends up in our property management software. So from the very get-go, we're using our property management solution in order to provide our customers with the best experience possible. So we get their application on our property management software. We are able to review the information in that application. We're able to then screen them for income, background, credit. We're able to screen them for previous employment, previous housing. We're able to really get down to the nitty gritty about their application, and that's all just through the software, the door, and the phones. So already we're dealing with the first part, the polling in of the tenants really comes into those three steps, or no, they're not necessarily steps, but three functions of this office. Now, in using the application, we're then taking that application and we convert them to a tenant. Okay. That conversion process is done in the property management system. So, with that said, we do spend a lot of time with our property management software. It's important to understand the finer elements to making sure that we convert them to a tenant correctly. And that conversion process means making sure that we charge them correctly on what has been agreed by management and by the tenant, and so that we can build out a lease for them using the software. Okay. And then we get the opportunity to ask them, Do you want your lease on your phone emailed to you, so it's paperless, or would you like me to print that off so that you can sit down and review it physically? I can tell you almost every single time they're going to want to see it uh, on their phone. If they don't want to see it, just let them know that we have a printing service. Okay, it costs them money to print it. It will discourage them from doing it, and they'll want to review it on their phone. That's really important. We want to be scanning as little as possible, and we want them to be using online as much as possible. We want them to be making their payments online, which is done through the property management software. We don't want to be receiving checks. We want this process to move as fast as possible. All right. So then the next thing with the property management software, we're able to review all of our different units, their inspections, their work orders, the different requests that come from tenants. Tenant communication happens through the property management software. So it's kind of like the central part of what makes this office a success. And to be quite frank, it doesn't need an all day effort. It just needs the tender loving care that it really needs. Okay. And that's part of why, as soon as the fundamentals are understood, you can then go up from there. You can build on that idea. All right. And that's really important because the skills that you learn from day one in this office are astounding. And it just grows and grows and grows and grows. And your ability to help the tenant, and not only help the tenant, but help yourself in being a success at this job, it's monumental. Okay, so now the fourth thing that really leads to the success of this position is understanding that we have to know so much here. And I mean, honestly, we're constantly building to what we know, modifying what we know, curating what we know, collaborating with what we know, so that we can communicate the smartest decisions possible based on a collaborative effort to create knowledge. And once, and I know that sounds really complicated, but to be quite honest, it's really simple things, right? You have, I'll give you a great example. Okay, great example that I've used to our advantage. Using our property management software, I'm able to print off a particular kind of report in a particular kind of way. I'm able to upload it into our knowledge management software system. I'm able to then manipulate that data in such a way that I can read it better, in a smarter way. It becomes more manipulatable instead of having to go into the robust structure of the property management software. We're able to pull it off and use a different structure to manipulate that data very quickly and come to an understanding of the smartest decision possible. So, for instance, and this is just one instance, let's say we have all our vacancies and we have to make a smart decision on how to guide our maintenance men to repairing units. I'm able to extract that data from our property management software, manipulate that data into a coherent way on our knowledge base, and then I'm able to then provide that data over to our guys so that when I have my meeting with them on Wednesday, I'm able to sit down with them and go, all right, this is what we know. And then we can make wise decisions out of the office. And that's really what leads to a better customer experience, so that when tenants are coming in, they're happy, they spend more on rent, they get excited about paying rent because they enjoy their experience. And then when they go, because we have been making wise decisions from day one about who we're letting in, how we're treating them while they're here, and how they leave this property, the experience is way better all the way through. Now, with that said, the last part to all of this, the last structure to all of this is essentially it's email. I know that sounds crazy. It really comes down to email. I mean, let's see, you get your phone, you get your door, you got your property management software solution, you've got your knowledge management solution, and then you have your email. I mean, I could probably tie in potentially, instead of email, like a sixth item, which is our different marketing channels, and I can get into that. A lot of those marketing channels are kind of they're done. We just need to freshen them up every once in a while, and that's really easy. And a lot of that's done through email. You'll get a nice email that says, "Hey, your listing's been live for so many days. Let's freshen it up. Just click the button and boom, you've just, refreshed one of your channels." So it's important to recognize that out of the knowledge management base, we're able to understand how we're doing on different marketing channels. And from our email, we're constantly getting, not constantly, but we're getting reminders about how to make sure that our different affiliate marketing channels are up to date. So with that said, I guess that's really 6 systems. One of them is kind of tied in between 2 of them, and we don't have a ton of control over those because we don't own those. We don't own, I mean, we might own the information that we gave to them, but how they're distributed, how they're marketed, that's really out of our hands. We just have to make sure we provide accurate data to those affiliates. So with that said, that part's really easy. But email is pretty crucial. This is where we're going to be getting inquiries. This is where we're going to be getting requests from management. This is where we're going to have, and this comes right back over to the 5 people. We talked about this at our interview. If we didn't talk about this at our interview, there's something wrong, okay? Because this is the job. Your tenants are going to be emailing you, okay? They don't text us. They can text us through the property management software solution, but they email us. We ask them to email us because corporate can see that. And the next thing that we ask them to do, our owners, is our owners communicate to us by email, which is great. They'll call us, but email is one of the most dedicated channels that they have to connect with us in a timely fashion for them. Okay, because this property is really to be about convenience to them. Now, the third thing, and this is management. Management can spend all day on the phone with us, and we can spend all day on the phone with management, but we don't have time for that. We need to be able to be as efficient as possible. And part of the way we can do that is by sharing the information in our knowledge management database, making sure that the data in our property management software is accurate. And then the emails that we are receiving back and forth between each other are super, super clean. Now, granted, a lot of times things are just a quick phone call. Hey, I just need to understand something. Hey, I just need to answer something real quick. A lot of times it's just, and that's system number 1, is how we manage the phone. And management is involved with how we manage the phone. You kind of have to manage your relationship with management and how they'll take up your time on the phone. The same thing is with the owners, same thing with tenants, vendors, staff. So it's important to use email whenever possible, with management, with the owners, with staff. Staff is a little bit trickier situation, so we're going to get to that. So staff, they don't use email the same way we do. I mean, they can, they will, but ultimately what's really important about our relationship with email to staff is just making sure that when they have very critical information that they're collecting from the property, that when they extract it from the property as a photograph or as a whatever that's kind of outside of the property management software, they use the property management software too. Our maintenance guys do. So if it's not in the property management software, they need to communicate to us, say like there's a car in a random spot and they don't have a place to put that in property management software, and they need to put it to us. They'll send us an email and we'll have a picture, and they might even explain some things. But we'll take that picture. We can either upload it into our knowledge management database, or we can put it into our property management software solution. So it's really a succinct system as soon as you understand the fundamentals, and the fundamentals are learned right there. That's where it all starts. That's how it works. Okay, so if you understand that the phone, the door, the software solution, the knowledge management database, and our email really are the bread and butter to making sure that this office works successfully. A lot of the physical items in this room are artifacts. They're a part of the past. And we can use them to our advantage, but most of the time we don't really need them. A lot of it can go, to be quite honest. I mean, yeah, we've got the printers and the scanners, and that's an important feature. I use an inbox because we do have physical items. I use pen and paper because that's the fastest way I'm able to process information. I might be old school that way. I might be new school. I don't hybrid school. I don't really care. It's just what's essential is understanding that the things that you see behind me a lot, and you don't see some of the filing cabinets that are over here. A lot of this stuff is just parts of the past. And so a lot of this can change. Just because that desk is there doesn't mean it has to stay there. That desk can move there. That desk could be a long desk here. It could be an angled desk going here. Doesn't matter. The key point is position 1 and position 2. Position 2 is about learning the fundamentals, the 5 systems and the 5 groups of people that we deal with. So let's get right back to the 5 people that we deal with. The first person that we deal with is tenants. Okay. Tenants are awesome. Tenants are absolutely incredible people. They pay our money. They give us money to live here. All right. That's incredible. And that should never be taken for granted. Never. But first and foremost, okay, before the people, and I got to take a moment just for this. I got to give a second. At root, administration is here as a physical manifestation of Silver Pines, the property. Okay, we represent the property. Before the tenants, before the owners, before the management, before our staff, before the owners, we are the human element to the property. I know that sounds really wild, but if there's no one here to administrate, it's like a hand with no palm. You just got 4 fingers and a thumb laying on a table, if they're on the table. So it's really important to recognize that if you make sure that the property is your biggest priority, is the palm of everything that you do, you're always going to do better. When you put the property first, you respect the tenants. When you put the property first, you respect the owner. When you put the property first, you're respecting management. I'm going to keep going. When you put the property first, you keep staff happy. When you put the property first, you're going to select important, smart, and efficient vendors who are not going to be charging you too much. Okay? That's just how it goes. With that property first mentality, you're going to be using your systems to bolster it, okay, to make it more robust, more successful, and honestly, more desirable among our tenants who pay us, our owners who pay us, management who pay us, staff who are paid with us, and vendors who we pay. And that's really what it comes down to. So now that I've been able to just take a good, less than half an hour to really talk about what that position is really about, is about learning the 5 systems and becoming accustomed to the 5 different kinds of domains of people that we deal with in the process of managing the property, becoming the human function of the property. And really, I'm not trying to make like a spookiness out of it, but that's really what you become, is you become a feature of the property. I'm not saying your life is, stuck sitting in a chair. I'm not saying your life is stuck sitting right there. I'm saying what that position is, position number 2, is understanding the fundamentals. Okay. As soon as you understand the fundamentals, you get to take the next step. Okay. Because once you understand that you've managed the systems that you have in play and the people that are participating on the property, then what you're able to do is do bigger projects for the property. Say, oh my gosh, I could come up with loads of different projects. I have a list of projects right here that I have been trying to work on ever since I became competent in how to maintain the fundamentals. But there's a limit, right? This person, without the secondary person, he can't or she can't or they can't move forward. It's just that simple. They're maintaining the fundamentals and making minor improvements towards larger projects. And that's just kind of how that goes. So ultimately, in the coming in of the tenants, this position, the position that's in front of the camera, this is the person who is looking for new ways to broaden the hose of tenants that we have coming into this property. And granted, I'm still discovering this as myself, okay? I've discovered the fundamentals. I'm having to build on those fundamentals as best as I can. So let's go back to the phone. discovering new people to call that will build the business. Okay, the next one, the door, inviting new people through that door that will look to build that business. The next one, the property management software, creating or going about curating parts of the property management software so that there is a better understanding amongst all of us when we use it. Even finding vendors who will work with it, uh, training other people on how to use it, communicating reports with owners and with the managers on what we find there, the knowledge management system, creating training materials and education materials, and creating knowledge materials that you can use, that I can use, that the future can use. I mean, these are just like small things that build on the basics. And where I'm at is my excitement levels are brimming. I'm like blowing up with how much fun it's been to be able to talk about this. And then the last one is email. Just identifying new email lists that I can reach out to, identifying new email campaigns that we can create for tenants, identifying new people to talk to. Again, this is all about increasing the flow of people coming in and decreasing the number of people who go out so that we get a waiting list. I mean, that's a that's something that's happened here and it's going to happen again. It just takes someone to help with the fundamentals and someone to be able to take the step beyond the fundamentals and doing a little bit more stuff. Not to say that this person can't do that either, but they can't run if they don't know how to walk. Okay. They can't swim if they don't know how to hold their breath. I mean, really, it gets a little tricky. So I've got less than 4 minutes, 3 minutes left. I'm going to take just a moment to really kind of come back down here, get serious with you. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I know you're watching this crazy guy talk about how exciting it is, but this property is huge, okay? You have to recognize a simple feature of human cognition to understand how serious this place is. All right. Robin Dunbar, primate sociologist, psychologist, believed that there was a limit to how many human connections a person can have, how many friends they can have. Not like Facebook friends, I'm talking about connections, real, healthy connections with people. And he postulated that that number relative to the size of the human brain was 150. This complex is 276 units. So that's already 125 doors over what a human being can be capable of. And most of our units are 2 and 3 bedrooms. So this complex houses anywhere. I mean, if it's max full, every single room full, oh my gosh, that's like 600 people, right? If not more. And so it's an essential part to the success of this community to make sure that there are people who are maximizing the systems that they have at their disposal to properly process in a healthy, happy way the connections that they have with the people in this community. And that's really comes down to it. So I've got this lovely thing that one of our awesome maintenance guys gave me when I first started here, and I'm going to permanently leave it here. It is the values of this office: peace, love, and happiness. If there is no peace in this office, how are we able to succeed? If there's no love being done for the work that we do and the people we work with, why are we doing this? And if ultimately happiness is the goal of America, we are in America, everybody. So let's make sure that the pursuit of happiness is what we're shooting for. I don't care where that happiness takes you. I don't care what kind of happiness you define that to be. But this office is about maximizing our ability to pursue happiness. So thank you very much. I'm very happy for this experience to take 30 minutes and talk about what it means to start here at Silver Pines, what it means to be introduced to Silver Pines. And so I'm spent, it's late, I'm well past when I normally do this, but that is exactly the kind of thing that happens around here at Silver Pines is we give 110%, 200%. We give thousands of percents because at the end of the day, that's what we love to do. It makes us happy. Peace. Bye.